Welcome to Casual Conversations Teen Edition with me and Ruby, our 15 and a half year old teen that is willing to have a conversation with me in hopes that you parents out there can learn something from Ruby and our conversation, because it's just really helpful to hear from their point of view, right? So Ruby and I are just going to talk a little bit about ways that her parents connect with her. So welcome, Ruby. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're willing to just share one or two ways or whatever you do that your parents, the way that you connect with your parents or they connect with you, if you're willing to share.
Yeah. Um, Me and my dad connect with like music. We'll play music a couple of days a week. Um, yeah, just because because I'm like a teen, I'm always in my room, like just on my computer and stuff. So it's a way to just connect on something that we both enjoy doing.
And it sounds like it also gets you out of your room, or does
Yeah,
he come into your room? You.
it's in my room, but
Oh,
it's
it
not.
is.
It's not in my bed.
Right.
Um,
Okay, great. So he comes into your room and you guys jam out and play music. So Ruby's dad is a musician. And Ruby, what instrument do you play when you're playing with him? Because I know you play a couple things, but what are you playing?
I'll just play like on my piano or my keyboard.
Hmm. And so you feel like when you're doing that, it's connecting you all and
Yeah.
it's something you both like to do. So that's really helpful, I think, for anybody who's watching this to, whether it's something you like to do or something your children like to do, it can be really helpful if you learn about what they like to do and encourage them to learn about what you like to do, because that's a really helpful way to connect with your children. So thanks for sharing that, Ruby. And is there anything you do with your mom to connect?
Um, we, I mean, it's a little different with her just because like she doesn't play music and that's like my main thing. But we definitely like, we'll watch movies together. Sometimes we used to go to the theater like a lot, or like once a week or something.
Huh.
Um, but since COVID, we haven't been able to. But yeah, I mean, I think she'll help me. She helped me a lot with like art projects in school because
Mm-hmm.
that's what she likes to do. Yeah, sometimes we'll just watch movies together, and I feel like we just like go more places together or whatever. Like if she's running errands, sometimes I'll just come with her.
Okay. So you find a way to connect with your mom by watching movies, and because of COVID that you mentioned, you haven't been able to go to the actual movie theater. So you watch movies at home. Parents, again, we don't think about this with our teens or even our young children to sit and watch with them, because that's when we're like, oh, good, I get a break. So turn that around as your children get older and actually sit with them. So I know you and your mom, so I imagine she's sharing some movies from the 80s with you. Is that what you guys watch sometimes?
Yeah, we haven't like in that long because I don't really like watching things with people. So she's like kind of like strongly encouraging me to come sit with her. So like, she made a not a rule, but like an expectation or whatever to like once a week that I'm with her, we just sit down and watch something. We haven't put that in motion yet, but
Well,
but
you will. You just
yeah,
moved. And so Ruby has two homes. And so what it sounds like is your mom is working hard to encourage you to do that, because you don't love watching things with people. And I can get that, especially maybe someone who talks during it, because I know my own teen tells me I talk too much while we're watching something. But now the roles have reversed and I stay quiet and she talks too much. But good for your mom and you for making this commitment and following through. And hopefully after this casual conversation, Rubes, it'll be more on your mind to sit and watch something with her. Maybe it's not a whole movie because that's a little too long. Maybe even just finding a show or maybe some kind of documentary. But parents, listen to this. I mean, how fun, it's find something they like to watch. This is the way we can connect with our children. And then after, maybe you can talk and ask questions, and encouraging your children to go run errands. I mean, I don't think we think about this either. We got to encourage our children to get out of their room and to be with us and for us to be with them. And it's not every time you run errands or every time you watch a movie, but like how Ruby said, her and her mom are doing it, or planning to do it, is once a week we're going to watch something together. So that's super helpful. And Ruby mentioned that her mom is an artist, and so where Ruby's more of a musician, that encouraging your children to ask you for help or offering your support with something that is a strength of yours, like Ruby said, when there's an art project or something that takes a little bit more creativity, she does ask her mom to help because she knows her mom loves that. But it's our job as the parent to make sure our children know all the time that we're here to help them and support them, and that we would love to do certain things with them. So remember that that's really our job. So Rubes, I'm going to ask you one more question if you're willing to share. Um, is there anything that you would want your parents to know that could help them be a better parent for you? That's kind of a deep question, but I'm wondering if you have
Um,
something in mind.
I mean, I don't want to say like to help them be a better parent because I think they're great parents, but um I think just I mean, I think they know this. I think I've told them this before, but like if they ever like are trying to engage in any conversation with me or like talk to me or ask me anything and I'm just like not giving them detail or I'm not like really wanting to engage with them, it's not like I don't want to like talk to them because they're my parent. It's just I'm not in the mood. I'm tired. I don't want to talk to them about a certain thing. Like it's I just like always want them to know that it's not like it's usually not like a personal
Ah,
issue that I'm having with them. It's just because I'm not feeling like talking. I'm just not feeling like talking about that certain thing.
uh-huh.
I mean, I think I've talked to them about that before, but um and like I've told them there's certain things that they had asked me every day that I've told both of them I was like it's not helpful when you ask me that, and they've both like really stopped asking me like certain
Wow.
things. Um
So it sounds like you've learned how to use your big voice and be assertive in telling them what's best for you so that it can be best for everybody. And it seems like they've heard you, right? If they're see the power of our words and communication. So way to go, Ruby, for letting them know and telling them. And now they're pulling back on not asking you or saying the same thing to you every day, because that's not helpful. And it sounds like what you just shared is so powerful and very similar to my last teen edition. Is it's like you care enough that you don't want them to take it personally or think it's anything about them. It's really just for you. It's just not the right time to talk, or that's not the topic you want to be discussing right now. And it sounds like you want them to understand that it's not about them, and you want them to also respect your space. Is that correct?
yeah, but I mean I think they both know that I value like privacy and my own space, but and they've both said sometimes we just feel like we need to come and like check on you or whatever, and I was like that's fine, like just know that I might not be in the mood to
Right,
talk.
right. Lower their expectation, right? They can come in and check on you, and they can come in and hug you, and they can come in and say hi and ask you a question and want to talk to you. You just may not want to talk back and at that time. And that's super helpful, I think, for you to be able to express that to, and just as important for everybody who's listening to really understand to not take it personally. And what I would suggest is to come up with a time that works for your team. Ask them, when is a good time for us to talk? And and Ruby, maybe that's something you can think about. But I know in the last teen edition casual conversation, Josh had mentioned when it wasn't a good time, right? So when I'm just getting home from school or just getting home from playing sports, or it's like I'm transitioning, right? So I think if together you can share with your mom and dad when might be a good time, or maybe you don't know, and it's just when they come in and you just are kind of like, not now, or come back later. And that might be helpful to you and to them, so you're in a better place to be ready to be open and communicate with them. So it was super helpful, this conversation. And you mentioned a couple things, that your parents really respect your privacy and your time. So other parents who are listening to this, take this for what it's worth, and know that that means a lot to your teen when they know you respect their time and their space and you respect their words, right? So when they're telling you, now's not the right time, it doesn't mean don't ever connect with them again. It mean or take it personally. It means try again in an hour. Try again in another hour. Offer your child a choice and say, "Hey, do you want to connect before dinner or after dinner?" Give them some limits so that they can prepare themselves a little bit more. And that might help everybody because it is our job to connect with our teens, Ruby, which is why your parents keep coming in because they love you and they want to make sure you are mentally and emotionally healthy, especially with everything we've been all going through with COVID. So parents, take this as a reminder to keep connecting with your children and do not take it personally when they don't want to. And just know it's just not the right time, but you'll find another time in that day to do it. Thanks so much, Ruby. I wish everybody well who's watching this. Please comment, give us a thumbs up if you like it, and stay tuned for the next one. Wishing you all well.